right. Hello and welcome in. We are in the midst of strife, trying to find a way through the Tories and Tias of the world. But all is not lost despite our lack of an ability to find an even reasonably safe line. I've not found a line that is any safer than risking a crit. Just straight up 1 in 16. And the crit, that probably just means we lose one Pokemon, but not here for it. So what do we do instead? We prepare. So what does that mean? That means we try to pull our encounter. And pull our encounter. Ooh, skill swap on corrosive is actually really smart. Okay. Let's do this. That means we can do this. And then we will Lepa Berry you with pre-burn. Everybody else gets what they get. And then the question is, do we want to pull the encounter, which I think is 113? Yes, 113 encounter. What do we want here? For this fight, we'd probably take... Well, sorry, let me back up. Any dark type is good, right? Our dark type is terrible. And so not only would it help on this fight, a good dark type goes a long way for the run in general. And probably gives us a way to get through this Gothitelle. This thing is full of dark types. What else would we take? We would absolutely take Yanmega. As we've noticed, Beedrill being our 4 times fighting resist has sucked. So having an actual 2 times fighting resist that can take a close combat, outspeed, and KO would be great. And also, another detect guy would be great. True Miss is pretty much just Toxel. I've never had Murkrow here. I know it's like Dragapult dupe. I don't actually know if the Pokemon's useful early. I've had it late. I've heard good things. I have not experienced value. So anyway, we'll see. There's a 5% whiff here. I like Toxtricity, so I don't really care. This is just a question of, do we get something to help with this fight? And before we pull the encounter, we're going to go do some pre-status, and we're going to buy some darn Pokeballs, because we haven't done that in many splits, and we have a surprisingly small number left. Sure. Will I ever use 31 Great Balls? I don't know. Alright. And let's pre-burn our Torterra. And probably our Musharna as well. Cool. And that means that Musharna doesn't need the berry we gave it before. So there we go, berry. So, all right, question 1 has been answered. Is this a worthwhile Pokemon to get Hasty on? Salazzle, Houndoom, Zoroark, and even Murkrow are all pretty good with Hasty. Drapion doesn't want Hasty, but Hasty's great on almost everything here. Galarian Weezing's not good with Hasty, but the one you're trading for is such a physical tank that we don't care. So we will absolutely Hasty Sync this. We're at the point in the game where you don't just survive with physical bulk. You can plan around things. You have tools. You no longer have to fear that. It's just a question of, do we want plus speed? And the answer should almost always be yes, unless we are specifically pulling for a tank. I don't know about you guys, but Houndoom ain't no tank. All right. Party is here. We have a really good plan for Salazzle. We're in business. Cough. I'm telling you, always coughing. Not gonna help with the fight we have coming up. I have had like 50% coughing here. It's actually insane. I've never had Murkrow. I've had one Stunky. I've had one Scorpy. I've never had a Zoroark. I've gotten one Houndoom. I think I've gotten one Salazzle here. 2 Yanmegas and a Toxtricity. Right? How many times have I made it to this point? I don't know. 30? I've probably made it here a dozen times. And I've had at least 5 coughing. I do not believe coughing can boom here, which is the upside of getting it in this spot. I actually typically really like getting it here, because 34 is self-destruct. We do not have to do the quick ball shenanigans. Welcome to the squad, coughing. Now, let's see. Did we get the Hasty Sync? We did. And it's 27 HP. This is actually like a pretty cracked coughing, all things considered. We'll level this guy up. Okay. Level 35. So what do we want here? We've done this a couple of times. Belch, Payback, Toxic Sludge is our move set. We're never booming this guy. We're going to level 48. So I think it's Sludge Bomb. Is this the old Toxic Will-O-Wisp combo? I think that's what I've done before. Toxic Will-O-Wisp Flamethrower Sludge Bomb is, I think, what I did before. Pain Split is nice, but kind of unnecessary early on. And we're not going to have this guy a ton later. Let's do it. Save. Remember to save during an encounter. So, much ado about nothing. This guy is not going to help with our challenge at hand. No self-destruct. Maybe I should keep Belch over Sludge. How fast are you? Aren't you pretty slow? Yeah, you're 60 speed, so I'm not outspeeding anything. So we would have to get down below 50 and then still outspeed something. Now, Belch is bad on this Pokemon. All right, it's not never living till it has a Scarf, so Belch is gone, even though 120 base power is so exciting. Sludge Bomb over Sludge, of course. We would take Pain Split over Payback. And then we would immediately take Flamethrower over Pain Split. Because when you're a Turtle Runner, fire moves are good. Real hard-hitting analysis there, I know. And then we're going to preemptively make our way back. Sadly, we may have to pull an encounter. Like, we might have to do Game Corner Hera if we're not willing to just sack something to Gothitelle. Something probably useful. Because I don't know about you guys. I'm not ready to give up Breloom. Breloom remains very useful so far. I would like for something to fall off before I get rid of it. Right? The bad guys in the box are Claydol, which has been so far run-saving in its short tenure. A Hasty Bear, which comes online later despite being unnerved. Right, the worst thing I have is Galvantula, which will be a fast Volt Switch guy. Like, I don't know. And we've caught Girder as Girder, so we can't get Mach Punch, which would be excellent. We have 2 Mach Punch guys, but we can't get a guaranteed Foul Play switch in the right position. So, for anyone that's watching, here is the problem at hand. I have found very limited ways to end this fight safely. All right, so let's assess the variety of potential scenarios. I'm going to back all the way up and just look at 2 things, leads and final positions. So we have a couple of really strong leads. Despite my struggles to route this fight risklessly, we have a series of guaranteed turns and options for different varieties of guaranteed turrets at the start. And they all bait Bisharp second, which you almost always want, barring something that one-shots Gothitelle. And let's just state for the record, there is nothing in my box that one-shots Gothitelle. There is a Galvantula that does 79%. There is an Obstagoon that barely even triggers the berry. And there is Brave Bird Staraptor with a sharp beak that does 72 to 80 something %. That is the range of effectiveness. Actually, let's see Ursaring. How does Ursaring do with Feint Attack? It does awfully. Ursaring can do 48 to 57%. The only Pokemon that could do the job is Beedrill in Swarm with a Silver Powder. Actually, not sure we need the Silver Powder. Yeah, you do. And the thing about Beedrill in Swarm and a Silver Powder is, you guessed it, it would bait Fake Out, and Fake Out crit for Beedrill and Swarm is almost always a KO unless we have precise control. precise control over our HP. The only way to get precise control over HP is to not take any on the way in, and Vedril is our fighting resist, so it has to take some close combats and stuff. Musharna also doubles as a fighting resist here. Don't get me wrong, it does a pretty good job. Just not quite good enough. So let's talk about, again, guaranteed leads. We have a really strong lead with Tentacruel in either slot. Right, so kind of my original thought is an Eldegoss Tentacruel lead that goes into Obstagoon. Obstagoon, so you write, kind of classic thing here we want to do here is we want to bait Psychic Fangs into your Dark type. Well, Tentacruel baits Psychic Fangs 100% of the time, and Tentacruel also has a Clear Body, and so Clear Body doesn't mess up foul play damage, or it prevents the foul play damage being messed up. So Tentacruel at 61 HP precisely baits foul play. Sorry, pre-paralyzed itemless Tentacruel baits foul play Psychic Fangs for fast kill, and Obstagoon takes a grand total of 11 to 14% from that. All right, and then Eldegoss can kill, or we can set up something else. So let's, right, so understanding it goes Tentacruel into Obstagoon in that first slot. Now we have options. Option 1 is to just KO Bruxish turn 1 with Leaf Storm. If we do that, then we need Obstagoon in slot 2, and Obstagoon has a choice. It can either be pre-damaged Yeah. So we got options here. So Eldegoss could be pre-damaged. So backing up, Goon can either be pre-damaged to be dead to low kick CC. So we can click protect, of course. Or Eldegoss can be pre-damaged to show fast kill to both of those Pokemon on the switch in with a pre-poison to get us into close combat range on turn 2, even though we weren't in close combat range after turn 1. Here's the thing, though. Knockoff close combat doesn't have a lot of switch-ins in this box. Precisely 0, I think. I think I can go into Turtle or Cloyster. Can't even go into Cloyster. I could with a... Okay, I technically I could, but then I'd be baiting random move. So Turtle can do that. But so again, there's one option there. So we can bait 2 kills into Eldegoss, and then immediately bait 2 more kills and do some like chip damage with Gunnar here. To set up something good later. Which is, I think, I might end up just having to ball there. Unfortunate as that may be. So we have that option. And so we've been trying to figure out what the checkmate position is, because I haven't been able to work it front to back. And so here's a couple of thoughts. One checkmate position, or I shouldn't even say checkmate. What are things that could let me win the game at the end? Well, I either need to have Fake Out active the turn. I either need Fake Out active when Goth hits the field and a fast Fake Out active at that, or I need to set up a double KO and have Gothitelle be on the field by itself with 2 mons that can KO it. Or 2 mons guaranteed not to show a KO to Gothitelle so that I can have guaranteed Fake Out and do enough damage to kill over 2 turns. Right? There's a few different potential winning positions. The issue is classically playing around Sucker Punch and crits. The one thing that I've come up with that's, if I could set it up, would be really consistent is Breloom, pre-poisoned and itemless, plus Sharp Beak. There's actually 2. Sorry. Itemless Breloom plus Sharp Beak Staraptor exactly KOs Gothitelle through Citrus and outspeeds. So even though Gothitelle has this fast kill or slow kill some of the time, if it chooses its KO, it dies. All right, so that's one option. And what seems so great about this option is that Breloom without an item under Tailwind, which Staraptor has, plays round Sucker Punch. So if you can set up a guaranteed Sucker Punch turn to click Tailwind and get Breloom in on a dark move, while Bisharp is below 90%, you can Tailwind. You can Tailwind on the Sucker Punch from Bisharp, and we show it a fast kill, so that's reasonable to set up. And then Breloom, the next turn, would have a faster priority KO on Bisharp, KO it, while Staraptor just cleanly KOs Scrafty regardless of items, because at some point we will get a close combat out of it, and Dual Wing Beat will just take the kill. So, right, so that this is like a really specific situation that leads to endgame, where you go double KO on Gothitelle, following a Mach Punch Dual Wing Beat KO, following Tailwind, a clean Tailwind turn, right? A Tailwind on Sucker Punch turn. And the only way to get a clean... So I have to set up this like weird 1 in a million position that I haven't found yet, where Staraptor's not... Where Staraptor enters the field, procs Defiant, Defiant doesn't KO the other Pokemon. It's taken some chip. I have to find a place to chip the darn Bisharp. And then I'm good. And I just haven't quite been able to find the way home. It's been a struggle. So, anyway, now you can struggle with me. I will probably not do this fight at all tonight. It has been driving me crazy, and so I thought maybe I'd get on here and doing it live would somehow help. Probably not, but that's okay. The other thing we can look at is if Psychic Fangs... Well, as much as I said Wheezing doesn't help, Wheezing is a fighting resist, which we've sorely lacked up to this point. And it's a fighting resist that doesn't bait other moves. So let's not pretend. right? We just hasty um, hasty wheezing is a is more physically bulky than my minus defense 0 HP 5 defense. Imagine having a minimum defense speed roll. Oh my god, I have loved this speed roll. All right, I do. I love this guy, even in early game. So much fun to use. Early U-turn is just such a great utility. So let's do this from the top now that we have a bona fide fighting resist minus defense as it may be. By far the best defensive mon we have not named Torterra. Torterra doesn't resist anything on the site, so its baiting is pretty bad. One interesting thing to do here would be to set up somehow like a toxic KO of the Scrafty. If we're really gonna get there, and then I have to do some math because that's like an 8-turn KO through Citrus most likely. But, all right, one thing at a time. So let's go back to our regular starting point. We have Tentacruel, baiting Foul Play, Psychic Fangs. And we have Eldegoss in slot 1. Eldegoss is just not useful later on. Interestingly enough, we know that Eldegoss does not proc Defiant from Brawly plays. Not Brawly, Roxanne plays, but we'll really want to deal with that. So one other interesting range we have here is that Intimidated Silver Powder Togedemaru U-turn is plus itemless Night Slash is exactly a KO of Bruxish, and we outspeed Bruxish with Obstagoon. We got to be careful about speed tiering here, but this is the most recent intriguing line I have found, or at least starting position. So Tentacruel on the right, the old 10% thing from our good friend What if Togedemaru is my chip? Do I have a way to get Togedemaru kind of in for free? Maybe. Or I have to get it next to something that shows a fast kill. Just hard to do. And by the way, we found we are a dumb late game favorite a guy that likes late game better than early. So I cooked an entire line which had a sick Tailwind setup with Iron Ball Beedrill, except we don't get the Iron Ball for like 8 more fights. So wasted a solid half a day cooking up that one. That's a good stream. I probably found that line in 90 minutes. And I'm devastated. So Togedemaru U-turn. Slow U-turns the Bruxish. Doesn't matter, it's double attack into the Goon switch in. So Goon goes in, U-turn goes back out. We go into Tentacruel. Now we have Tentacruel on the left, we have Obstagoon on the right, and we've chipped the Bruxish. This position is great because our pre-parried Tentacruel so it shows a fast kill, the same fast kill it showed on turn 1. it's now showing to Scrafty from the left. So Scrafty ignores its close combat KO. Yeah, Scrafty ignores its close combat KO. Also intriguing. Okay. Scrafty ignores its close combat KO and targets Tentacruel with Foul Play. Obstagoon is free to KO the Bruxish, and Obstagoon either pre-damaged into kill range or taking any roll of Foul Play, including max roll crit, baits Bisharp for either slow kill or out damage, as we will out damage Gothitelle even at like 79%. So that's the setup. So now we have Scrafty on the field at full HP. So we can KO what's his face, and we can switch in something to take Scrafty Foul Play. Togedemaru actually does it, but then we get inconsistent baiting from there, which we hate. And then we have 2 mons on the field that are simultaneously dead, which we also hate. Interestingly enough, though, Obstagoon's kind of free. Let's actually explore this. Let's say we put Togedemaru back on the field. If we put Togedemaru back on the field, it takes Foul Play. And Togi can be pretty cleanly pre-damaged because we would want a pre-damage to just be dead to Foul Play plus Sucker Punch, which is easy to do. So we could get a Sucker Punch fast kill on Togedemaru. And we could get Fake Out into Scrafty, invalidating the Sucker Punch that's going into Togedemaru. And that means Obstagoon would have an absolutely free turn. Problem with free turns is that your Obstagoon doesn't do any damage. Look at that quad effective Brick Break doing not even 90%. Okay, but this is an opportunity to get our chip. So let's say we cannot pre-status to get into low kick range later. So it's not an opportunity to pre-attack because then we have Obstagoon taking some type of damage. Then we have 2 faster Pokemon on the field simultaneously. Oh, come on, Arcanine. You couldn't be... How many more? 13 defense or max HP? No. Okay. Okay. So let's say we bring in our pal Breloom here. So we Fake Out, we dodge the Sucker Punch, we deal some minimal amount of chip to Scrafty, and then Breloom is on the field. Breloom, in this case, hasn't taken any damage yet, so we have a Mach Punch KO if we want it on Bisharp. And Scrafty would see no kills, so we would just be like bringing Torterra in because it's random move from Scrafty. And random move Scrafty technically can KO Staraptor. And we haven't gotten a close combat drop yet. So I don't like this. So sorry, U-turn KO. In comes the Tentacruel a second turn in a row. KO the Bruxish. Bring in Breloom. Now. Bring in Breloom? What's the other option? Maybe it's Torterra. What if Torterra is the guy so that we can set up like Earthquake double kill? If I can deal... So Torterra plus Staraptor is also a winning position. Because same idea, we can go... Alright, so let's explore that. Let's see if we could just whittle down our opponents here. So what does that mean? That means we need to burn the berry, burn citrus, and get Scrafty into yellow without ever KOing. And then we have to Earthquake. And we have to deal 23% to Bisharp. So... Honestly, Obstagoon probably doesn't even learn all the punch moves. This guy doesn't learn anything. The fact that Obstagoon doesn't learn Feint Attack makes me so mad. But great, it can get Charm if you delay Lanoon. That's just awesome. Thanks for that, game. It does get punch moves. Oh, and what's up with Hitmonchan getting Shadow Punch for your opponents, but not you? I'm used to abilities. I'm not used to movesets. Okay, so Togedemaru set up, and then to Tentacruel goes in, so we get Tentacruel goes into Breloom on foul play, Obstagoon KOs what's his face, right? Chip, switch, reset Tentacruel, KO Bruxish. Bring in Breloom. So now you get Bisharp, and in this scenario, you have to KO. Sorry, you can't KO. You have to be dead to low kick. Yep. And so we're dead to low kick plus close combat only, and Breloom, if we Citrus Berry pre-poison, we can, and pre-damage, we can make it so that Foul Play crit always triggers Citrus, and any other HP we take keeps us out of close combat range. So it's guaranteed move into Obstagoon, but we have to plan for both item and itemless Breloom. So Obstagoon's on the field next to Breloom. Breloom is untargeted. Obstagoon can detect. So Breloom has an opportunity to deal some damage to somebody. If we're thinking Torterra's the solution, then maybe we go the route of Facade. Okay. So Breloom let's say Breloom clicks Facade into Bisharp for now. And Obstagoon protects. Now, Obstagoon baits another set of things. Baits low kick close combat. And so we can go into Beedrill on that, right? So Beedrill goes low kick close combat. And we actually prefer Beedrill because we need to show some KOs somewhere. Yeah. Yep. So Beedrill comes in. Scrafty has 2 Dark Move KOs. Knockoff and Foul Play do very similar damage if we're holding a Citrus. Which we'll just pretend is an Iapapa. Yeah, so Foul Play is the most damage anyway, which is what we're preparing for. The item on Beedrill is not all that important. But we probably... Yeah. And we can always teach... We have the option to teach Brick Break to Beedrill to show Fast Kill to Bisharp so that Sucker Punch is prioritized even if another mod on my team shows a Fast Kill. So Beedrill actually has like a really specific and important use case here that I just can't seem to use. I've had like 7 lines with 5 of the 6 same Pokemon. So Beedrill comes in on double fighting move, heals up with probably Citrus, and is a sitting duck for a slow kill on one side and fast kill on the other. So if we do that, the problem is we don't have Torterra to switch in anymore. Oh my god, is the answer really that I'm going to have to like pre-burn Torterra so that I don't crit kill the darn Bisharp? That feels really unlikely to be the answer here. But maybe it is. 16% though. Let's explore. Pre-burn Torterra. Pre-burn Torterra. Coming in on guaranteed foul play. Okay. And then I take a burn tick. And then I protect Earthquake, dealing 40-something% and 16-something%. And I can even, not citrus, I can even soft sand pre-burn Earthquake. No, it doesn't work. Okay. I wanted to get away for Bisharp to definitely be dead. To 2. But it didn't work out. All right, so all right, so instead we just say Torterra comes in, Torterra clicks Giga Drain on Bisharp and heals a good amount of what we lost. Not really, it heals a small amount. Then, all right, so it switches, right, it switches in on the, Torterra would switch in on the KO turn. Obstagoon would detect, as Torterra does, a Giga Drain on one side. And then Obstagoon would switch out into Beedrill as Torterra would do Chip on the other side. And interesting, oh, it's so close. Oh, wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. Never mind. So Torterra with Signal Beam. Sorry. One thing that's better about Torterra than Breloom is that Torterra gets to move after the first drop. So we could get the Death drop. And I wonder with Miracle Seed if that would help. 38. Not quite. So we'd get the early Spadef drop from Scrafty. We'd deal 38 to 45%. And then Beedrill's getting Sucker Punch plus another Dark move. Sucker Punch plus Dark move. Because we're citrused. Yep. So, and Torterra's never shown any kills. So Beedrill goes back into Obstagoon. If Beedrill's citrus, is there ever a world where it's not a Dark move the next turn? We take 55 plus 22 on double crit. No, we're at like 50%. So Beedrill always gets double Dark move, one of which is Sucker Punch. And that means we just have to do the Scrafty first so that we don't trigger Sucker Punch AI on Obstagoon. We'll be fine with that. We can do that. So now Beedrill switches back into Obstagoon. While Torterra does its second round of chip. So if we're keeping score at home, we've done 20% to Scrafty. Then we've done 16% to Bisharp. 16. And I don't think... Yeah, Giga Drain plus Earthquake isn't a KO. How about the other way, though? Giga Drain plus Earthquake with Soft Sand is. Okay. Okay. Now we are getting somewhere. All right. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So Obstagoon clicks. Sorry, Obstagoon comes back in on double dark move, and the worst case for Obstagoon is that he would be coming in from like one, was it foul play crit below low kick, as we have to always be. All right, that's so an extra 10%. So we can say that we're at worst we're switching in while we're 47%, and then we're switching in from like 47%. We're taking another Bisharp foul play, which brings it down into the 30s worst case. So it's still always close combat and a move from Bisharp, while Torterra can do a second round of chip into Scrafty. So first round of chip would do 21 damage. Second round of chip, he's at -1 to death and -1 defense. So we would do 33 damage percent. So now he's back up at like 75-ish. I've lost track of the turns. Fake out KO, sorry. U-turn, switch. Switch, U-turn Intenta. KO. Bring in Torterra. Protect, chip Scrafty. Detect, chip Scrafty. Let's bring in B. Chip Scrafty again. Right? Yes. Bring in Obstagoon a second time. Chip Scrafty a third time. Detect with Scrafty. Chip Bisharp. Not Scrafty. Obstagoon. Chip Bisharp. So that's 1 at -1 and 2 at -2. No. 1 at neutral and then 2 at -1. And then we don't have the switch in, because it can't be the darn Staraptor, right? Would have to be Beedrill. Beedrill can't take the hit. It's so close, man. Imagine having like 3 turns to set this up and still not being able to do it. Because the guy doing the chip is always the guy I need in the back. In every version of this. are some other opportunities we can take advantage of here. Can we just do an art? Maybe the problem is that we're trying to use Staraptor instead of Archon. Can we just like lead Archon somehow? Let's just pretend that Archon's -1. It still outspeeds and two-shots Bruxious and is faster. And then what does it bait? -1 Archon baits Bisharp. So that's new. That's finally a novel idea. Because we have a lot of turns to pivot with Obstagoon and a variety of Obstagoon and pals does a pretty good job of buying us time to set up whatever it is we need to set up. However, one thing it doesn't do is allow us to do the Breloom finishing touch. Which is a separate challenge. But we can do, if we set up the right KO situation, maybe we can have Togedemaru in the field. Okay, so let's do the same Togedemaru lead. So we do Togi Shuffle, but instead of bringing Tentacruel back out, we bring Archon out. So, sorry, so Togi U-turn at -1 plus Acrobatics will always kill Bruxish. So that means we're going to have Archon and Gooner. And Bisharp's going to see a fast kill on... is going to switch into Archon. So we're slot independent. Either slot can be, but we'll get low kick close combat. Okay. So... Okay, this could work. This could work. So Archon is on the field for free and unintimidated. Obstagoon is on the field and dead to some things. Oh, but it's a fast kill. It's too. Let me say this. Now Archon and Obstagoon are both fast KO'd. So, or both slow KO'd. So we would have to pre-para Obstagoon and not detect. Or switch something else into this move. So we can do the Togedemaru thing where we get Sucker Punch and a random attack. Okay. Well, let's say we do that. Let's say we get Sucker Punch and random move. Sucker Punch and random move from you, so we can't have an item, but that's fine. We just take Scrafty random move as easily as you please, and then Bisharp Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Tentacruel pivot into Goon. Tentacruel's back out there. Tentacruel into Togi. Togi takes foul play. After foul play, Obstagoon KOs Bruxish. Bates Bisharp, slow kill. Fast kill from... Sorry. Oh, Obstagoon cannot be pre-parried. Obstagoon can't be pre-parried. This line does not work unless we risk the... What is that? Iron Head. 3 rolls, 50-50. So that's a 1.5 out of 16, 3 out of 32. No. Come on, man. It's so close in every sense. Never thought I'd say this. All my Pokemon are too fast. Okay. Is there a word where we pre-damage Breloom? So Breloom takes random move from Scrafty. Well, hold on. Is it risked? Yeah. Yes, it is. We KO you, we bait Archon. No, we KO you, we bait Bisharp. I'm gonna have to just KO you that turn, which we can't do. What a mess. I'm no closer to this than I was at the end of yesterday. Are we willing to pull any of our delayed encounters? Petalburg, Game Corner, and 118. Does 118 fish help with this? I doubt it. I mean, the 118 fish gets you a lead, and we already have a lead. I don't think 50 special attack Araquid's gonna do it. Lunge. All right. Wing beat KOs with sharp beat KOs through. That's pretty cool. Okay. So maybe it's time to accept that we need to use like Electro Web. Okay. So Electro Web into Discharge is pretty good. That'll always KO Bruxish. And we can do it on the Tentacruel into what's his face, Detect Turn. So in this case, we've done %35 to Scrafty. And we've done 35% to Scrafty, and we've KO'd Bruxish, and our good friend the Sharp can come out now. Come out to play. And we haven't used an item, and we're not showing any kills on the left. So we can just be pre-damaged to the classic low kick setup, low kick CC. Okay. And with low kick CC, we like signal beam Bisharp. We signal beam Bisharp. Beedrill comes in. Beedrill's in. Getting Sucker Punch, Dark type move. Or what's his face? Galvantula chips. So we chip him. We chip Bisharp with Signal Beam. Or interestingly enough, can we do Black Glasses Sucker Punch? It'd be fun. It'd be funny. 9.6. Let's see. 12 damage plus 122. It would be enough. The old Black Glasses Sucker Punch. Okay. Let's pretend we're doing that. So Breloom can come in for itemless Beedrill. Sorry, so we chip and we KO. Turn 1. Oh, and it's only some rolls of crit. How many rolls of discharge crit KO Bruxish? Bruxish is 130 HP. Not that many. And do we care? Do we even care? We don't. I don't know. We don't even need Electro Web. We just Signal Beam. We Signal Beam if we KO, then we don't need to detect. So there's no need. Electro Web is not necessary. We're just being unnecessary. We can even get rid of Defiant if we want, which is cute. Alright. Galvantula attacks the Bruxish. As long as we build in the detect line, then that's playing around crit. Turn 2 we KO, or we already have Bisharp out. Whatever. So on turn 2 or 3, Bisharp is out. Has 2 fast KOs. And on this line, we've dealt 20% to Scrafty, and Scrafty could be paralyzed, so we cannot assume we have fast KOs from Scrafty anymore. Okay. Got it. So no more Tentacle. That's fine, we weren't bringing that in anyway. Alright, so Beedrill comes in on double fighting move. Citrus is up if it needs to. After low kick, it's always did a Sucker Punch, so even if he gets para, full para, it doesn't matter. So we Signal Beam. We're doing it in the Lumberry. No, sorry, we Sucker Punch with Black Glasses so that we don't mess anything up. We're faster, so Sucker Punch always hits. Sucker Punch always hits. Okay, so we do the Sucker Punch. Brain. We do the Sucker Punch as Obstagoon comes back in. Obstagoon comes back in. On Sucker Punch plus Dark Move, Obstagoon takes it and sometimes baits close combat. Honestly, Obstagoon probably should have an item here. Think about that. Like an Oranberry, not a Citrus. To like play around foul play crit. 1 foul play crit. Okay. We'll think about it. So Obstagoon Is it Obstagoon that comes in? Yeah, if Beedrill's coming in this early, we're kind of stuck. This is the same line problem we had before, where we haven't yet. We want to switch out the Galvantula before it's had the opportunity to chip the shark. How about you -2 Eldegoss? What do you do to the sharp? Okay, you do it. So the problem with all the other lines is that we don't KO Bruxish in one turn. Let's KO Bruxish in one turn. We have one way to do that. It's Eldegoss. So Eldegoss KOs Bruxish, goes to -2, is also -1, which will just account for foul play such setups. Then Obstagoon baits Bisharp, tail is all this time. We Leaf Storm Bisharp, and we go to -4 attack, but we've now done 16 damage. We've done the requisite damage. Obstagoon's on the field. Is that really it? I'm gonna hate myself if it is, I think. Okay. We've done the damage. So we have Protectless, so Goon after Protect. We've done our 10% to Scrafty. And we're always getting targeted on Goon. So we go Beedrill and Staraptor. And Beedrill's taking -1 close combat, but we're going to assume it crits. We take 58, 55, +1 from Defiant low kick crit, 55 plus 34, which will round up to 35, is 90. So we'll be at 35%, which is almost never close combat. We're gonna accept the double crit range and say we will be a guaranteed dark move from Scrafty, or would be a dark move from Scrafty. And on that dark move from Scrafty, plus Sucker Punch, Fast Kill. Right. We have the choice here. So we have a choice. At +1, Sucker Punch does 61. We can actually pre-para. If we pre-para Beedrill, Beedrill, if we pre-para Beedrill and we're switching in Staraptor plus Beedrill, Beedrill always survives. Beedrill's always getting fast KO'd by Scrafty, and Beedrill is always... And Staraptor's pre-damaged. That's important. Staraptor is pre-damaged to always be fast KO'd by Bisharp. So it's an Obstagoon switch. He hasn't clicked Sucker Punch on this turn. We will be at 93 HP. So that +1 Sucker Punch always KOs. So he'll see Sucker Punch, fast KO plus close combat, showing him a KO. Priority AI boosts it. So I get to click Tailwind and switch into Breloom. Did I finally find it? I click Tailwind, I switch into Breloom. Breloom comes in. Bisharp is 90%. It's below 90%. I don't need an item. It takes random dark move from Scrafty. Tailwind dodges the Sucker Punch. Scrafty's taken no damage, but he has close combated, so he's at -1. -1 Scrafty, -1 Staraptor does 126%, which means we will KO through Citrus. Let's do this math, even though I'm certain of it. 127 divided by 4. It's 158, and I deal 80, which is 160. So Breloom pre-poisoned, switches in on a random move. I think we finally did it. That's crazy that all I had. This was my starting point. Let's run it again and make sure I'm not just excited to think I'm finally out of the darkness. All right, Eldegoss. Just 2 pre-parad Pokemon too. Turn 0. Eldegoss, left slot, full HP. Nothing sees a kill. Tentacruel, right slot, doesn't take Intimidate because of clear body. So itemless pre-parad. Tentacruel is dead to Foul Play at 61 HP plus Psychic Fangs and nothing else. So we get a guaranteed Obstagoon switch in. Obstagoon takes Foul Play, Obstagoon takes Foul Play, and let's make sure Foul Play 11%. We'll do this math too, because we need to be dead to Foul Play plus Low Kick. So we take 88%. Sorry, 88 plus 18 is 106. We have a 106 guy. 106 Gooner comes in and is dead to Low Kick, so we'll get Slow Kill. And if he were to Foul Play crit me, 106 minus 33, I'd be at 73, and the 73 HP is never dead to Signal Beam. Signal Beam max roll is 70, so it's always Slow Kill Bisharp for 106. Let's write down that 106. Six Goon. Always Bisharp. Tenta. Pre-Para. 61 HP. Okay. So Goon comes in as we KO Bruxish. Bruxish dies, baits Bisharp. Bisharp and Scrafty on field together. Eldegoss, slowest thing on the field, -1 attack, -2 special attack, not holding an item. Deals 16% with -2 Leaf Storm into Bisharp. Bisharp has a fast KO on has a fast KO on Obstagoon. What does crit Eldegoss do? $56. Alright. Fire Punch is fine. We have to delete Brick Break. Because Brick Break will see a KO after -2 Leaf Storm, and we can't afford Sucker Punch on the switch. Sucker Punch, we need Sucker Punch later. So, we detect on Low Kick plus. We detect on Low Kick plus CC. We chip the Bisharp. Bisharp is now below 90%. That's checkpoint number 1. Checkpoint number 2, we need Scrafty at -1, and we need Staraptor not to be intimidated. So, we switch in Beedrill. We switch in Beedrill on the Gooner, taking Close Combat plus Low Kick, which is at +1, and we never die. I repeat, we never die. Then inexplicably, so we switch in Beedrill for Goon on the right. We switch in Staraptor on the left, which is the trigger of Defiant, for free to replace Eldegoss. And it's holding a Shark Beak. Yep. Beedrill, Citrus. Yes. I don't even know if the Citrus matters. Citrus doesn't matter because of Foul Play. Any HP, Bisharp sees a kill, and any hit from either Pokemon puts me into Sucker Punch range. Not Sucker Punch range. Bisharp doesn't matter. Okay, take the 2 fighting moves on Beedrill. My physical resist. Let's go. Then we have Staraptor on the field. We have Beedrill on the field, pre-paralyzed. Staraptor into Scrafty sees a KO, but we do not take it so Scrafty's clicking a guaranteed attack, almost always a dark move, into Breloom. Okay, we probably put an item on Breloom for the fun of it. I'm not sure it's relevant. Breloom lives random move Scrafty crit. Because, everyone knows Breloom, also a defensive wall, as are all of the Pokemon in my box. And then Staraptor, when it switches in, is going to be exactly dead to Sucker Punch from Bisharp. Bisharp did not click Sucker Punch last turn because we got rid of a move on Goon. So we will be exactly 93. Pre-Paraby. And then Raptor 93 with Beak. This fight is so technical. I hate it and I love it. So Raptor comes in, activates Defiant, shows fast kill in both directions. Sucker Punch, fast kill, plus dead to close combat means Sucker Punch is through the roof scoring. Has to Sucker Punch there over the fast KO on Beedrill with basically random move. That means we can Tailwind in his face. And with Tailwind in his face and exact control over HP, importantly not being dead to Psychic later, we Tailwind in his face and we switch Breloom in on a random move without an item being pre-poisoned. Where does that leave us? That leaves us with Bisharp below 90%, having just Sucker Punched, not that it matters. It leaves us with Tailwind up. It leaves us with Breloom alive and healing. Yeah, healing 12%. And it leaves us with Scrafty at -1 defense. So we have priority Mach Punch kill into Bisharp. We have dual Wing Beat KO into Scrafty through Citrus Berry. Insane. Double KO. Plays around Sucker Punch because we're going to have fast KO, fast priority in Tailwind. Gothitelle comes onto the field. Not guaranteed to fake out. Sees a KO into Breloom with Psychic, and in some very rare cases with Signal Beam. But it doesn't matter. And why doesn't it matter? Because itemless pre-poison Breloom is never dead to fake out crit. And pre-poison Breloom Facade plus Staraptor Brave Bird is a KO. 93 HP plus 68 HP. Is exactly 161, and Gothitelle has a Citrus Berry. So Gothitelle, 129 times 1.25 rounded down is 161. This is so beautiful. I'm sorry that you weren't here to see it. For those of you that don't like long cooks, this is why you don't get fights like this. Let's do this thing. If I mess this up, probably lose our Beedrill. And then I'll just reset. But I am feeling very, very confident. Alright. Eldegoss, no item. Beedrill. Citrus Berry. Tentacruel, no item. Obstagoon, no item. We have to assess that, right? So if Obstagoon... If Obstagoon is holding an Oranberry, it doesn't matter. Obstagoon's only on the field for one turn, and we can't bait Ironhead crit. We can't bait Ironhead through crit. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Because Obstagoon doesn't come back out, right? We lowered the number of turns because of Eldegoss. So Obstagoon gets no item. Raptor gets the Sharp Beak. We never really like using boosting items on this fight, but we will here. And then we need to pre-status what feels like everyone. So we need to pre-paralyze 2 Pokemon to be slow. Beedrill. And Tentacruel. You are now slower than Scrafty. Congratulations, we're very proud of you. We need Obstagoon to be at 106 HP. go with no item. We need Tentacruel to be at 61 HP. Great. Eldegoss, no item. Leaf Storm, the only thing we're clicking. Tentacruel, all moves intact. 106, no item. Needs to lose Brick Break, Brick Break. Alright, again, let's double check this. Leaf Storm crit into Bisharp. No, not Ironhead crit. Leaf Storm crit into Bisharp does 56. And Fire Punch does 41 max with no boost. So Obstagoon never sees a kill with Brick Break. Sorry, never sees a kill after Leaf Storm, and Mach Punch always does. Raptor, Sharp Beak, exactly 93 HP, no changes to moveset. Damage. And then who can forget Pre-Poison Umbrella? Okay. Eldegoss, KO. Switch Goon. Chip. Detect. Goon's pre-damaged. Tentacruel 61, right? 61. 61. One above knockoff. Always works. Itemless Tentacruel. Prepare it for speed. Yes. Okay. 106. 106 from foul play minus 18 would be 88. 88 damage is the min roll of low kick. Excellent. So we go 1 into 2 to you. 1 into 2 would be KO. We detect, we chip, lowering our attack does not affect Bisharp's Defiant. Turn 3, we double switch. Beedrill takes 2 fighting moves, even though low kick is boosted. Staraptor takes nothing. Switches for free. Staraptor's pre-damaged. So let's look at this again. With Intimidate, Foul Play will have some killing rolls on Raptor. However, Foul Play is not a high crit move, and that would be a slow kill. We have a pre-paralyzed Beedrill, which will have 2 fast kills from this -1. We'll have a minimum of 1 fast kill because of Foul Play on this move. Every weakness can be a strength in this game. Beedrill pre-para, fast kill, always from Scrafty, never slow kill Foul Play, which means we can have the pre-damage to be dead to +1 Sucker Punch, which is in fact 93 HP. We Tailwind in the face of Sucker Punch, we switch in Breloom on random move. Almost never, although it's almost always a 50-50. Pre-poisoned, we have Facade. This is it. This is it. Sorry for repeating it over and over again, anyone watching. I'm just... Well, you know this fight. You know you're afraid of TnT when you bring 2 items total to the fight. You see what this box makes me do? Oh, get out of my way, dude. This is not about you. Yeah, we always show a kill. We never show one. 3 HP off. So sick. I hope it's right. I think it is. Tori, Tia, do your worst. I think I've got you. Defiant goes -1. It adds 2. It'll be +1. Tori and Tia, you demons. You absolute demons. One fight stream. Okay, Intimidate goes off, but not into Tentacruel. That's important because foul play damage has not been changed. We Leaf Storm into Bruxish. We go into our Dark type. We take Psychic Fangs, and we take Foul Play. Bruxish goes down. This must be the Sharp for low kick KO. Clear body value. The Sharp comes out. The Sharp low roll of low kick is 88 HP. When you play the gameplay, come on, kid. Eldegoss is not dead to anything. It has a free turn to get a small amount of chip into Bisharp. Obstagoon is free to protect on double fighting move. Low kick, close combat. Crit does not matter here. Leaf Storm does enough at -2 by itself. That's all we need. -4 Eldegoss has done its job, pretending to be a sweeper for 1 hot minute. Staraptor for Eldegoss. Beedrill. My tank goes in for Obstagoon. Double fighting move. Intimidate goes off. Scrafty goes to -1. Bisharp goes to -1, except Defiant. +1. Who switches their Beedrill, their prized Pokemon? My 0 defense, 0 HP, 5 defense Beedrill. Pre-paralyzed. What did this guy do to deserve it? He takes it like a champ. Double physical move. Min defense Beedrill. Doesn't even use the citrus. What a goat. Alright. This is the checkmate position. Scrafty has a fast KO into Staraptor with Sucker Punch. And, Bisharp, fast kill Sucker Punch into Raptor. Raptor has close combat fast kill. So even though we have almost random move fast KO into Beedrill from Bisharp, Bisharp must click Sucker Punch into our good friend Staraptor, who is free to Tailwind. At -1, Scrafty sees slow kill into Raptor, but it has fast kill into pre-parried Beedrill. Beedrill is the central point of this fight. Beedrill, so we go Tailwind. Beedrill leaves. Breloom, an unlikely hero in the box, all run, finding ways to be valuable, comes in. Sucker Punch fails. Tailwind goes up. Bisharp below 90%. Knockoff. Unimportant. We don't have an item. What knockoff? 13 damage. -1 knockoff. I don't even remember it happening. Alright. Dual Wing Beat. Mach Punch in Tailwind. Outspeeds, and KOs Bisharp with the chip. Mach Punch. No Sucker Punch shenanigans here with your fast KO. Scrafty has no kills here. We dual Wing Beat. Citrus. Terrifying. But no, not this Raptor. He's -1. We KO through Citrus. So cool. I love this. And then, this is why we are so, it's so important we don't replace moves. In Tailwind doesn't matter, we naturally outspeed both. Brave Bird plus Poison Boosted Facade exactly KOs with min rolls through Citrus. And that plays around the slow kill 50/50 that Gothitelle has and has gone for on our good friend Breloom. And that is how you have the wrong tools and deathless, riskless beat Tia. That took me a full day. Thank you for watching. That was the most satisfying one fight stream of my life. I hope you enjoy. Let's raid Cheesemo. I'm sure he's still on. Ooh, Inca's in. We will definitely raid Inca Beasta. Cheesemo, Spellroom. Oh man, all the guys are playing. Well, we want to talk run and bun, so we hit up Inca.